On a hot, incendiary night in June 1969, Marsha famously stood at the vanguard of the Stonewall riots, a weeks-long uprising now widely recognized as the birth of the modern gay liberation movement. In the 1960s New York City, countless bars and restaurants refused to serve gay patrons, and those that did were continually raided by police. At the time, the New York Police Department repeatedly harassed queer bargoers under the guise of enforcing cruel three articles laws, wherein a person was legally required to wear three articles of clothing that conformed to the sex doctors assigned them at birth. Flaunting their style and flouting the law, the drag queens, like Marsha, went out loudly and proudly for the evening dressed in slinky skirts, rhinestone-covered tops, costume jewelry, and colorful heels. Their very presence was an act of resistance against anti-cross-dressing laws, a resistance they were brutally punished for. The Stonewall Inn, a rowdy gay bar in New York's Greenwich Village, had only recently begun allowing queens like Marsha inside. That night, the police sauntered in like they had so many times before, except this time they declared that they would be shutting down the bar for good. They began roughing up the femmes and butches and queens inside, aggressively patting them down to the point of sexual assault, pushing them against liquor-stained walls and belittling their transgressive attire. Suddenly, like a match falling into a pool of gasoline, the scene exploded. Bar patrons resisted the police, with queens wildly swinging their purses to deflect punches and butches fighting off handcuffs. Gays and lesbians linked arms outside, screaming at the police to leave their beloved sanctuary alone. With chants of fag power and liberate the bar bouncing off the cobblestone streets, young queers on surrounding blocks ran over to join the mayhem, lighting trash cans on fire, kissing their lovers, and freeing their friends from police constraints. Much folklore and swirling legend surround Marsha's role in the riots. Stories of her throwing a shot glass and screaming, "I got my civil rights," when cops demanded that she show them her ID. Of her climbing a lamppost to drop a bag of bricks on a police car windshield, shattering it. Of her fixing her makeup in a broken mirror fragment picked up off the ground, murmuring, "Thank God, the revolution has begun, honey." Now, because I struggled with the mirror fragment piece, I'm going to read that last thing again so you can really let it sink in. Because I'm not here in my jams and glasses for nothing. Of her fixing her makeup in a broken mirror fragment picked up off the ground, murmuring, "Thank God, the revolution has begun, honey." Now, those are not my words. Those are the words of queer activist Marsha P. Johnson, as written in the biography by Tourmaline. You know, one of these days I'm going to nail putting things on the screen so you can actually see it, but it's from a book called Marsha, Marsha, because I know sometimes people spell it with different letters. And it's written by an author named Tourmaline. So like singular, let me make sure it's spelled right because I got this from the library and it's the spelling is like blocked by the library tag. So Tourmaline is spelled Tourmaline. So that's the author. So if you look up Marsha by the author Tourmaline and you see a picture of a woman with a flower crown like that, you found the right book. And the reason why I'm talking to you in this terrible lighting right now is because I'm recording at night, which I never do. And ever since I've started doing this video recording too, I try to record with the natural light. I like to work with nature, but it's dark outside right now. But I had to talk to you. So bear with me in this rough light right now because I just had to tell you about this because it's really coming alive in me. And, this is a humble moment for me because, like, it really was like in bed reading this, talking to my husband. I'm like, I got to go talk to him quick. I mean, I'm here in this shirt that's like, look how dumb this is, like it's just, I love my Appa shirt. I can't get rid of it, but it's just like, it's so dumb. I know you can relate. You've got those teas that you love and they're just holy. And it's like, there was no time for me to even change, okay? Because I had to just talk to you. So obviously, I'm reading this book because Chani recommended it, okay? It's Pride Week, and Chani was talking about this book on her podcast that came out this week. And she spoke about the book so beautifully that I was like, I gotta check this out. And part of the reason is I'm going to be vulnerable with you right now and tell you I don't know much about the fight for trans rights. Like I just don't. I know that unfortunately, trans quote trans folks were discriminated against for far too long, denied their rights for far too long because they never should have been denied their rights. But I don't know much about who was a part of the movement, and I wanted to change that. And so when Chani gave me a resource that easily by naming it in her podcast, I had to check it out. And my local library had the book. And so, like I said, it's a biography. I'm only at the beginning, but it's already just like screaming at me in the best way. And I had to both tell you what I'm loving about this book so far, as well as use with that one line, like reiterate the good news of what that means for you and what that means for us in these times. Okay. So let me just explain more about what brought me to this book. And I hope that even an explanation of that journey will encourage you to turn toward the thing that's been calling to you, even if that thing's only been calling to you for 24 hours. Because I just heard about this book yesterday. And by chance today, I ended up at the library and sure enough, they had it. And so even if there's a thing, like callings can be short-lived, meaning like something can come to you and it's like, but it keeps coming back, it keeps coming up in your mind, and then you find yourself in an opportunity to pursue it further. There can be short-term callings that are worth your time. And this book is actually absolutely one of them for me. So I hadn't heard of Marsha P. Johnson, but as you could tell from that excerpt, so that was relating to the Stonewall riots, right? And that has a lot to do with advancing, not that they had much rights when this began, but advancing the rights of queer folks. And Marsha was a huge part of that as a trans Black woman, a huge part of moving that movement. And when Chani spoke about her, she was saying things like, Marsha was one of those really amazing people who was not resourced, to use Chani's term, who was not resourced as she should have been to fight for her causes or to just live her life freely as everybody deserves to. She was not given the resources she needed, but she made her own. In a time where people had to fight for rights that they should have just been given, and where, as you heard from that excerpt, brutality was being inflicted on people literally just for dressing the way that they wanted to dress and adorning their bodies the way they wanted to. Like, God, everybody has that right. And it still brings me back to just, it makes me really upset because none of this makes sense. Like this brutality, like really think about it. At the end of the day, why did certain humans ever have a problem with other humans just dressing they want to dress, being in the bodies they want to be in, loving who they want to love? What the fuck? Like, it's actual insanity to think that this is even a thing. Who the fuck cares? Like, respect people's pronouns, respect the bodies that they're in, let them live their lives for fuck's sake. Like, does anybody stop you on the street? If you're straight, if you're cis, if you identify with the body you were assigned at birth, like, does anybody stop you on your way to the bar and point out how your clothing is offensive to them? Because it just, what the fuck? Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid to deny people rights, especially rights over something like that, over the bodies they want to be. So what? Like, actually, so what? So it really breaks my heart, that the police and others treated queer folks the way that they did during this time. It's sick. I mean, as you heard in that excerpt, I mean, it bordered on sexual, it would not bordered on sexual assault, it was assault. But I love the words that Tourmaline chose. I'm only, 10 pages into her book, and already I'm absolutely loving the way that she writes. But she uses the phrase, suddenly, like a match falling into a pool of gasoline, the scene exploded. Bar patrons resisted the police. Like, enough is enough. Who can blame them as they're literally being sexually assaulted, invaded, and enough. A match falling into a pool of gasoline, people fighting back. Although I don't like thinking about the horrors of what was done to the folks in that bar, I love the idea of their strength rising up, where it's just like, actually, enough. And so this book, just 10 pages in, is really alive. And the other thing Chani said about it is that Tourmaline seems to have some sort of spiritual connection with Marsha P. Johnson that's evident in this book. I haven't gotten to that part yet, although I can tell you, as a psychic medium who is now fully embracing her eighth house stellium, um, this is a very spiritually charged book. This is a book that is very much alive. And I hope that you go out and read it. But because Chani was talking about sort of that mediumistic connection between the author and Marsha, who the book is about, I was like, okay, I gotta read this. Like, and I gotta read this because, number one, I need to know more about the movement. I need to know more about these brave people who fought, and I need to know more about the historical, you know, just the history of what trans people have gone through in this country. I know some of it, but not all of it. So I wanted to educate myself more. I wanted to know who this remarkable person was, because Chani, who spoke so highly of her and her ability to work with very little to advance herself and her cause, and the spiritual side of it. So I had to just go get it. And so, the first part of this being, again, if there's a spiritual calling that is speaking to you, listen, even if it's a short-term one. If something keeps popping up, read it. I mean, some of these insights will come fast. That's what's great about the spiritual thing too, is that, yeah, sure, some things you have to learn over time, but some things become clear really, really quickly. And this was clear really, really quickly, that I needed to read it. But the other part I wanted to share with you, because we're obviously in very trying times right now, where rights are still being denied, in many different forms. Victim rights, when it comes to domestic abuse, we still have issues with civil rights and prejudice and sexism and discrimination against LGBTQ people, especially with the current administration speaking the way that they're speaking. I'm going to be honest with you. Actually, I'm going to hit the pause button. I don't actually think that Donald Trump gives a shit about trans people. I think he's using them and the controversy around those who do discriminate against people who identify with a different gender than the sex they were assigned at birth. I think he's using that controversy to gain media attention and money. It all comes down to making fucking money. And it's still wrong, right? Because he's still being discriminatory and abusing people and threatening their rights just to stir something up. So you could argue that not actually caring, you know, is just as bad, if not worse, than those who are actually like truly discriminatory at heart, because he's causing the same damage. But, anybody who uses discrimination as a way to gain media attention and money is just real fucked up. But I bring that to say, pay attention to what you're doing, okay? And what I mean by that is, although I talk about the administration just like other people do, I give more of my attention to what I'm doing, to what I'm building, to what I care about, because at the end of the day, I don't want to contribute to that man's paycheck any more than I already have by talking about him in the media. This is what my whole movement, fuck his show, is about. Go listen to that episode, by the way. If you haven't listened to that episode, go fucking listen to it because it's the point of my individual experience combined with the collective experience of I'm tired of bullies getting microphones, of getting some sort of attention, money, advantage from using their privilege and their voice to make money off of discrimination. Fuck his show. Spread that hashtag, by the way, because I think it needs to be spread because that's what's actually at the heart of every problem this country has ever had. Is that if someone can make money off of exploiting an animal, the planet, another human being, they're gonna do it. That is the curse of this country. The reason why narcissism is such a word that's thrown around so much these days is because it's the curse of our country. Read my book, She Death's Reflection, written based off of my experience, my husband's experience with domestic abuse, but in like a magical way where I turn the abuser into a monster and the victims. Because, by the way, there's multiple victims of abuse. And I actually want to start a support group for people who love people or who are abused because that's a whole other area that needs more help. Because it's almost like when you love someone who's remaining in an abusive cycle, it's kind of like loving an alcoholic a little bit. And that codependency of the abusive relationship mimics a lot related to alcoholism, but that's a whole other thing. My point is, narcissism is the curse of this country, and that's why so many people are talking about it. And so, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, do those who are fighting for their rights a favor, do this country a favor, and fuck his show. Stop giving media attention to narcissists. Don't don't share his shit on the internet anymore. Every time you share his shit, even if you're speaking out against it, well, that's still giving him attention. That's still making him money. And that's why he says all the wild shit he says, because he's making money off of it. Hmm. Focus on what you're doing. And that brings me back to why I'm reading this book, is because if there is somebody who is out there, like I wanted to learn from her because when Chani was talking about, she worked with very little to make something very big. I'm like, I got to learn from her. I know this woman has something to teach me, and I'm going to read it. So there's multiple gifts that this book can offer, beginning just right away on page 2. Wait, no, not page 2. That's where my bookmark was. Wait, no, it is page 2. No, it's not. It's page 4. I have like 5 different things in this book because I'm like writing and making so many notes because I love it so much already. No, it is officially page 4 of this book. Thank God the revolution has begun, honey. In the times that we're in now, the revolution has already begun. And this is like my final message for you. The thing, besides that you should go out and read this book, uh, the thing that I I really want to say to you tonight, and this is an extra special recording because I don't usually record at night because I'm just exhausted from, kids. The revolution has already begun. In the times that we're in now, we are not starting from scratch. There are beautiful people like Marsha P. Johnson who came before us, as well as many others who fought for human rights, who've already started it. You have already started a revolution inside you. When you're watching this right now, you're watching because something has brought you here. Or if you're listening, it's because something has brought you here. Don't underestimate the work that you've done, the experiences that you've had, and what you've learned about love, pain, loss, and how that can contribute to advancing human rights now. We are not starting from scratch. In fact, I would argue that we are closer now than we ever have been to an actual world of equality. And I know that sounds out there because we don't have equality yet. We clearly don't. But a lot of things are exposed right now. And there's a lot of powerful people rising up right now. And the world is so much bigger than we know. Because here's the thing, we hear the people on the microphone. We don't always hear the seeds. We don't hear the people that have been growing beneath the ground, but they're rumbling. They're creating an earthquake. And I can feel it. Like, I'm telling you this because I can feel it. I'm telling you this because I genuinely believe we are closer than we ever have been to actually creating equality. And that starts with your role in it. Fuck his show. Stop listening. Listen to this, your heart, not your torn up Appa shirt, but your heart. Listen to the wise sages of our time who are advancing the movement in their own way. I know I'm obsessed with Chani right now, but that's because she's worth being obsessed with. She's so great, and you can listen to her podcast for free. Even if you're not into astrology, what's really great about Chani is she relates astrology to her activism, to the things that we need to learn. And she's much more brief than I am and like succinct, meaning like she's better at getting her points packed into like a more organized, like, again, succinct kind of manner when she talks. So you should listen to her stuff for that reason too. Thank God the revolution has begun, honey. The revolution's already begun. Okay? This new thing that we're building, it's already been moving. And sometimes when your path clicks into place where you're like, yes, I know this is what I need to do to help, or I know this is what I need to do to advance my own creativity and heal my home, heal my family, heal myself. You also realize when that direction clicks into place, you've already come so much farther than you realized. As I shared yesterday in my I Fucked Up episode, it was like when I finally allowed the truth of that eighth house stellium to click into place and started learning what that means. It's like, oh yeah, I have survived a lot of near-death experiences. Yeah, I have had quite a bit of experience with trauma, specifically sexual trauma that I've survived. Yeah, my wound is here, but here's the thing. I survived all those monsters, and now they can't hide from me. Now I've become the anti-venom because I've survived. Now I am becoming something fierce because I've seen all these things up close and I've survived. And I've been so bold as to gain wisdom from it. When the physical world failed me, when the religious dogma that I was raised with clearly failed me, I didn't give up. I turned back to the spirits. I listened to what had been speaking to me since I was a child and finally owned my gift and saw what I could do with it. And then better understood why the world fought so hard to kill me. I mean, literally, because I have survived quite a bit. You are so much closer than you think you are to creating a better, equal world. And so this is an invitation to, yes, go get that book, but also recognize how far you've come, what you have learned from your wounds, what you have survived, what you have gained wisdom from has equipped you for the revolution. What do you know about grief? What do you know about loss? And how can you use that to help us hold on to what we have and build something new? We're closer than we think. So fuck his show. Fuck Trump's show. Fuck Pete Hegseth's show. Fuck all the patriarchy show. Okay? Turn it off. Turn on your own mind. Turn on your own heart. Listen, because there's something that's talking to you. There's something that's trying to get your attention. There is something fierce that you are capable of that will help protect your rights as well as all the rights of your fellow human beings, because that's what we need. We will never have a truly safe world until everyone is safe. I don't really have anything else to say. I was thinking about it for a minute, but really this is just the beginning. And so I guess I'll close out with, well, I think you know what's coming, or I guess maybe what went or is about to go.